Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another thrilling episode of Zooster by Night. Tonight, we are going to look in on the priest of the fireflies, Legate Seth, who has contacted the Ductus of the bastards to meet him at a bar in the southwest part of Zooster for a little tete-a-tete conversation out of the way where others cannot see. So we will go to Mean Gene, Ductus of the Cain's Bastards, who is hunting on his way there, and with 4 successes. How's your hunting going?
Gene's way that he hunts is that he will pick a spot, and that's a little out of the way, and he will just watch people until the crowd kind of thins out, and he finds a person that he feels that he could overwhelm easily, and Gene will just wait for that person to make the mistake of turning, away from the others and maybe in the alley or whatever the case may be. And Gene will come up and just bop that person on the back of the head and take his blood.
And how much do you feed off of him?
Just two.
Okay.
And then he will shake the guy down for money to make it look like a robbery and be about his merry way.
All right. Excellent. Well, Seth is trying to be cautious with his feeding since his ability to control himself once he starts is getting difficult. So he is going to probably still arrive at the with 4 successes. I'm sure you actually have time to stalk your prey, feed, and still make it to the rendezvous point before Seth. But we have not seen each other since we've each gotten our new faces. But you said yours was only slightly changed, was it?
Yeah, Gene's is definitely enough to for the police to come up and say that it's not the same person. His bald spots are not in the same places at all. And his nose is different and his eyebrows are knit in a different fashion, so the police would definitely see that when they come up they look similar, but it's clearly a case of a different person.
Okay. So when I arrive, I am going to totally not have any extra insight on who I'm looking for. So I'm just going to have to rely on just straight observation skills. So I kind of get a bit of a do I know you kind of impression as I am approaching you.
Seth would notice Gene is wearing a very similar outfit to when they did the game of Instinct.
Okay. So a strange individual approaches and is cautiously looking like he's trying to judge you a little bit. And you waiting for someone?
Oh yeah, waiting on a buddy.
Ah, it is Eugene. I have not seen you since our guises have had to be altered.
Gene getting there early would have picked out a spot towards the back beforehand and kind of had 2 beers waiting. And he'll say, "Oh yeah, I went ahead and bought you a beer. You want to go over there and sit down and have some chit chat?"
Yes, that is a good idea. So I'll grab
And
the beer and
Gene places himself in such a way that he can kind of observe people around the bar and try to keep up in case someone's listening. But he seems, his same. It's very much Gene with that plastic smile and that Wisconsin accent.
So a lot has gone on since we last encountered when you first arrived in the city.
Oh
Risen
yeah,
yourself up to a promotion, I hear.
yeah. I got promoted. It was good. Everybody I think is happier for it.
Well, that's good. No doubt your new position gives you an opportunity to utilize your skills a little bit more.
Yeah, I have vision, and I think that I can definitely help the company. I hear there's been a little upheaval and change on in your neck of the woods too.
Yeah, actually, we had to relocate our branch twice now, actually. It's kind of difficult to find some offices that are really good. Sometimes the landlord doesn't quite let you know what's going on when you're first looking at the place.
Oh yeah, yeah. We were also me and the girls had to find a different place to stay, and I don't know. I feel like we found an okay place, but it's really just a right now place, not a forever.
Yeah, um, we're right now have a couple of cubicles in another department's floor, but we're looking to get a new spot renovated so that we can move in and have a bit more of a permanent, comfortable uh, move. So, but what I was actually wanting to meet with you was to propose a little bit of synergy between our two departments.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, I know that in a lot of situations, obviously, when it comes time to for the big bonus, that the division that is the department that is more profitable is always the ones that get the most recognition. But at the end of the day, it's how the company fares that's most important. And if any division was unfortunately uh, shut down, it could have long-lasting effects to the health of the company as a whole.
Oh yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. I've kind of taken my department, and we're really more into hostile takeover of other companies. I think that we're really moving in a direction that I would say puts us on the offensive rather than the defensive, and we've really shown that we're good at go getting.
Well, that's good. Um, we've been tasked with monitoring the various divisions within the company as well as looking for attempts at hostile takeovers. And there is actually another company that has placed their target upon our company and are attempting a hostile takeover themselves. They've already managed to reduce the value of our shares a little bit. I'm worried that the market might collapse if we don't put an end to this hostile takeover quickly.
Well, I certainly believe that a strong counteroffer and swift response can nip these kinds of things in the bud.
Ah, excellent. Well, I'm sure that if we could synergize our two different negotiation tactics, that if we placed a counter offer with the opposing company, that it would work out for the best for our company.
Absolutely. Um, and Gene will take out his phone and he'll look at it for a minute while he's talking. Um, yeah, I definitely feel like this is something that we would love to work with you with. If you, we'll obviously need some details. If you do you know where this other company actually where their base is located, like what their base of operations is, and he'll slide his phone across the table, and it says like Anarch's question mark or other.
Um, I'll, as I respond, I'm going to delete the word and I'll replace it with another. I'll be like, well, the company that is attempting this takeover is actually trying to establish themselves as well. They seem to right now be flitting about between different venues. However, I do believe that I am close to pinning down a negotiation room that we may be able to meet them at and provide them with our counter offer. And he'll slide the phone back and it'll just say the word hunters on it.
And Gene will go, well, okay, that's definitely, at least you guys are pinning that down for us. So we will we will see what we have to bring to the table once you have that pinned down, and I think that we can definitely bring, what we call in the business the thunder.
Excellent. I think that they will accept our counter offer if we present it confidently enough. So that sounds like a very viable plan then.
Um, you will get Gene's phone back, and it has his number again, and it says, in case yours has changed, this is my number, and it's info on uh, equipment slash numbers is good.
Okay. Um, Once I find out how many negotiators they are bringing to our meeting, I will let you know so we can decide whether or not we are bringing enough negotiators to the table ourselves.
Good. And have we decided on who is leading which part? I know that your side obviously isn't what our side is. Um, we are the your negotiation skills are much different than ours, and so we'll need a clear line on which of our groups, our departments is going to be in charge, because we don't I don't want any too many cooks spoil the pot business. We just need a clear line of who's handling
Oh,
what part.
exactly. Well, I do believe that you and I could probably coordinate quite well. If I open negotiations and then turn the floor over to you, as long as I get the opportunity to provide a closing argument, then we shouldn't have too many problems with anyone stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, as long as we both agree to present our findings at the end to the rest of the company.
Exactly. I think a joint presentation afterwards would be beneficial. I think if we I think we should be careful about discussing this negotiation opportunity because there is some indication that they may be tapping the phones and therefore we might alert them to our counter offer ahead of time, which could provide them with enough time to think on how to handle our counter offer.
Absolutely, I completely understand what you're talking about.
Excellent. So now that we've got business out of the way, how have you been feeling?
I actually feel wonderful, but my unfortunately one of the girls in the office, she's got an awful cold, but it hasn't caught to me at all.
At all? I
No,
hear that's a pretty bad cold that's been going around the office.
right. I totally understand that. But from what I understand, it's just my secretary, and then my boss, and just the two of them. So I don't know if there's something going on there on the side or what, but
No,
as long we've been, um, I know that we both, I've drank after her before, and there hasn't been any issue with me getting the cold, and that's, I didn't really know that she had the cold. I just, she drank a soda. I thought it was mine. I drank her soda, and I didn't get sick afterwards. It's just her and the boss. Lucky
nobody
me.
else in your nobody else in your department?
No, no, not a one. Even the other, even my boss's secretary. The other one that we're all a little group there. She's fine. I'm fine. My secretary's not good, and then the boss is not good either. And they're both trying to get over it. My boss even thinks that it may be something about them that they share. Um, and when he's got his phone back, he just says bishop and priest only, and slides it back to you. He just thinks that maybe there's something about them that makes them more susceptible to it. I don't, maybe it's their, I don't know, blood type or something. Maybe all A's and A positives and A negatives or something.
That's very interesting. Um, have do you know if they've had any problems with their kids at home? Have any of their kids caught it from them?
Um,
And he'll type Ghoul on your phone and slide the phone back.
I didn't ask about their kids, but it's something I definitely, could find out when I talk to my boss, because we're all super scared of picking up this weird old cold. So
Oh,
it's something I could ask about, but honestly, sometimes from time to time, he'll bring his son to work just to let the little tyke get used to what's going on, and I haven't seen his kid in a bit, so I'm not sure.
hmm, interesting. I've been under the weather, and a lot of uh, a lot of the other uh, uh, supervisors that I've been in contact with seem to have caught it as well. So we've been very careful to try to keep others. Um, but I was under the impression that it was wow. He's kind of stumbling, like he's so blown away by the fact that you are not infected that he's kind of starting to lose the idioms and metaphors to use to express. He's just like, that's
He will
I'm
he
blown
will
away.
touch your, he will touch your forearm, and he will say, "I am 100% positive that me and he says Relina are in no way, like, neither of us have gotten sick. I know for sure that she would tell me, we've had no concerns with this, but we have heard that all of the other bosses and supervisors, yeah, they well, just the bosses, not really just the little supervisors, but the bosses definitely have. I know that one of the departments, the boss is also the supervisor, so that makes that a little hairy. And I know that you know, your supervisor, you know, broke his leg and he's been out of communication for a while too. You know, at home healing up, so we can't really know that route. But I am pretty confident that all the secretaries and all of the bosses, as far as I know, are all sick.
Well, our boss was on holidays at the staff meeting, and so he actually has been fortunate enough not to have gotten sick as well. But other than him and the president, everybody else I was under the impression had. So I'm very fortunate of you that you were have been unable to get sick, and hopefully that will help the doctor figure out on how to treat this cold because it seems to have a nagging habit of not going away anywhere.
Hmm. Oh, so you would say, you know that other guy that you work with? Is he
Yeah.
sick? Oh,
Uh,
Walter?
no, no, he's not sick.
Oh yeah. Man, I don't know if like if all you secretaries got together and did something, but I don't know. It just seems to spread from boss to secretary. And
Yeah.
as far as as far as me being the kind of the department head, I haven't had any concerns.
Hmm. Well, I'll definitely keep that in mind as I try to find the right cold medicine to keep me going. But that's it's very interesting. Actually, that explains a lot. That puts a lot of pieces back in the puzzle. Well, so you've had some good success, good health. Things are going well for you. That's good to hear. It's especially good for our departments because I know that we aren't always thought of as being the most supportive departments. So I think if we can close this deal, that should put to rest anybody's concerns with putting funding into our departments.
You know, I actually really like your department, and I almost transferred over there, but I kind of think the department head over there is kind of a dick, so he kind of turned me off to working with you guys.
Well, and to be fair, I mean, I think this opportunity for a promotion has worked out well for you,
Yeah, yeah, I don't
and
regret it.
when we have the company picnic, then when you department heads are comparing your P&L, then I'm sure that you'll have some bragging rights to hold over some of the other department heads. So,
All right. Hey, listen, it was great talking to you, and you take it easy with that cold, and I definitely will go back and talk to my team, and I'll make it our number one priority to brainstorm on what we can do to really make this negotiation effective.
all right. Excellent. Well, then, and I will let you know as soon as I can pin these guys down for a negotiation.
Alrighty. Oh yeah. Let me give you my new cell phone number, and Gene will write something down, and he will slide it to you. And what it is he says, I wake up at X time, and if you just send me, it says if you send me one letter message, of it says like send me Q in a text, I will go to this uh, phone booth and call you.
Okay, understood.
and he will get up and he will leave it like a tip on the table for the drinks, which throughout the conversation he's probably poured some out on the ground and whatnot to make it seem like he's been drinking it. And he'll say, "Yeah, I'm not even really all that interested in drinking the rest of this beer. You have a good one though."
You too. And I'll wait a little while after Jean has left before getting up myself and wandering. And as I get about a half block away, I just kind of seem to disappear into the night. So thank you for watching a short little scene as the two heads of their respective departments discuss a hostile takeover that is happening and how we can effectively produce a counteroffer. So hopefully we shall be able to tune in soon to watch the negotiations. Until then, you guys have a good night.